Hey everybody, Some Gadget Guy here, checking out another gaming headset today. We are looking at the HyperX Cloud 2 from Kingston. Now you folks should know by now, I'm not a huge fan of doing the unboxing videos, but I did kinda like how Kingston packaged the Cloud 2, so I just wanted to show as you crack open the box, they're nicely presented, they're very well accessorized, and now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can get rid of the box. Because we want to talk about the cans. And we're continuing with my headset videos that all of the audio that I record for this video, all of my voiceover for this review, will be coming from the microphone that comes included with the Cloud 2. Taking a tour around the hardware on the Cloud 2, the headband is clad in a nice leather-like material. It has a nice springy action to it. And that's going to be really important, especially as we start talking about headphones and headsets that are more designed for gaming, is comfort is going to be key, especially if you're going to be grinding for a while. There's a healthy application of memory foam on the underside of that headband just to better distribute the weight of this headset on your skull. This headset is not collapsible. There are no hinges above the ear cups. So the Cloud 2 might not be the most portable gaming headset on the market today, but Kingston does include a pretty killer little travel pouch when you want to take your gaming cans with you. Ear cup cabling is exposed, but all of the cabling on the Cloud 2 is this really nice nylon woven, sort of armor-clad cabling. It feels very durable, and it looks like it's going to handle a lot of abuse. We've got a solid action on adjusting the ear cups off of the headband. They feel like they'll stay in place fairly well, and as I move my head around, they don't seem like they're going to get dislodged. Extremely helpful for when you're in the middle of very intense gameplay. The ear cups are circumaural. That means they're over-ear, not on-ear headphones. I tend to prefer on-ear headphones for shorter periods of mixing when I'm really getting into working with audio, and then I like over-ear headphones for those times that I want to listen longer. I need something a little bit more comfortable, a little bit softer on my skull. And just like the headband, the ear cups also use a healthy dose of memory foam. The ear cushions are removable, and Kingston includes a more velour textured ear cup as a replacement in the box with your headphones. It just seems to me that this material would be warmer over a longer gaming session than the more leather-like ear pads that come installed on the Cloud 2. But I'm always stoked to see a company giving you options. Plus, it's just nice to know that as these pads wear out, you can get replacements pretty easily from Kingston. And traveling down into the left ear cup is where all the magic happens. There's a 3.5mm jack for this microphone, and this mic is a small diaphragm cardioid condenser, which means it should do a pretty good job of just pointing right at your face and starting to ignore some of the surrounding environment around you. The back of the mic should be pretty well dead. Kingston claims this mic is digitally enhanced, but I'm not entirely sure what that means, as I don't see that there's any additional hardware on these headphones for things like active noise reduction for the microphone channel, and I really think that the big benefits do come just from the recording polar pattern of this microphone, combined with this really intense pop shield that they include with the mic. I was able to very quickly and very easily orient this mic in such a way as that my P-pops and my plosives and my breathing weren't instantly impacting the diaphragm of the microphone. And behind the microphone on the left earpiece, we've got the cable. The cable is not detachable, but the boot's pretty solid. It feels pretty rugged, and like I mentioned before on the ear cup cabling, everything's got this woven nylon armor on it, so it should handle a pretty decent amount of abuse. Kingston makes a big point out of advertising that the Cloud 2 were designed in Sweden. Now, before you knock that, some of my favorite cars come out of Sweden. I used to work on old Saab 900s, and I loves me some Swedish, funky, modern design. But thankfully, the Cloud 2 are actually fairly conservative in their overall look, fit, and finish. I mean, aside from the metallic accent that connects the ear cups to the headband, the gunmetal version of the Cloud 2 look like they could be just any standard broadcaster headset. I gotta say, I'm a pretty big fan of this design simplicity, as I'm not personally a very big fan of gaming hardware that looks like it's overly Mountain Dew fueled. And for those who want to show off a little more flash, there will be a black on red version of the Cloud 2, which I think will also look pretty sharp. And also included in the box is a separate USB DAC. It's like a little mini inline USB sound card just to power your Cloud 2. On board, you've got volume up and down controls for both audio playback and the sensitivity of the microphone with a handy little mute switch. In the center of this little gadget, we've got a 7.1 stereo surround sound button, as Kingston is really touting the virtual surround sound qualities of this combo of headset and inline USB audio source. So running all of this hardware together, we should probably talk about sound quality. From my other headphone reviews, you folks should know by now that I'm very biased towards a more neutral or even audio profile. And in the past, gaming gear has often come with the stigma of just being muddy and bass heavy, especially as we want to show off all of those really impressive sound design elements as bombs are exploding and guns are firing. I'm really happy with the fact that Kingston has fought the urge to make the Cloud 2 just another set of skull rumblers. There's some really decent attention to audio detail and clarity going on with this headset. And I might be totally bugging out, but there's almost something happening in the upper mids, especially around certain details like speech would be really important for you to hear, that I think Kingston might actually be boosting the mid-range as opposed to just falling for the trap where they go for a smiley face EQ where they make the bass super rumbly and the highs ultra sparkly. Oh, you know, like vampires on a bright summer day. Nah, but seriously, I was not expecting that kind of nuance out of something positioned and targeted towards gamers. And this little USB DAC is an excellent addition. It's not going to win any awards from audiophiles for having pristine audio quality, but it's punchy, it's got a lower noise floor than my laptop's headphone jack, and it's stonking loud. Using it to listen to music on my Surface, I was really only able to use about 24-25% of the total output before music playback was getting to be a bit uncomfortable, and most musical genres that I was listening to were pretty well represented. Listening to electronica, everything was crunchy and crisp, and instruments had nice placement in the stereo spectrum. I was listening to the Tron soundtrack way longer than I really intended to just to test these things out. Classic rock and alternative were punchy and present, though I did find that the highs were a little dull. I want headphones that have a nice crisp air to them. But for music, I don't think that the 7.1 surround sound audio setting really does much to benefit the experience. All the stereo widening tricks and some of the reverb that they use to place instruments around you virtually kind of get in the way of just most recordings being in stereo. Though this setting was doing some really funky work to ABBA's Take a Chance on Me. If you guys decide to pick up the Cloud 2, I would highly recommend checking out the opening bars of that song. Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. And a lot of the same issues that I had with music playback, I also had with movie playback. You've got a really raw, intense action sequence going on. The 7.1 surround sound is actually kind of cool as they bounce music and sound design elements all around the insides of your skull. There are times during dialogue sequences that if there's a soundtrack backing up two characters speaking, some of that audio information can get a little confused or a little distracting. But that of course brings us to gaming, the whole reason these headphones exist in the first place. So let's get the criticisms out of the way first. To my ear, it's really hard to detect any true surround sound audio environment. Like I mentioned with music, what I think we're dealing with are a set of really sophisticated stereo widening and reverb tricks that will work in tandem with the game audio coming in from your computer. It can certainly help flesh out a stereo environment, but it's not really going to compete against a proper, well-measured, well-spaced out surround sound speaker setup. So that's the bad. And the good is that I had a really enjoyable time gaming on these things. They're comfortable to wear. I was able to wear them for a really long period of time. The closed back design on the ear cups do a pretty decent job of attenuating noise in my environment. I love that Kingston has paid attention to the mid EQs on these headphones, as it does kind of help draw out speech in the complex sound design on a lot of our games, and especially for some late night gaming. It's one of my favorite things to do. Wait until like 2 or 3 in the morning, shut off all of the lights in my apartment, all the lights in my office, throw these puppies on, and then grind some survival horror like Alien Isolation. And folks, that brings us to price. The time this video was shot, these weren't actually available yet. I shot this in January. They should be available sometime in February, but I'm really stoked to see that the street price being advertised for these puppies is $99.99. That's an excellent price to leverage against a headset that is good to very good at just about every audio task you can throw at it. From taking calls on your smartphone or Skype, using them to listen to music or watch movies, using them as a gaming headset, of course, and then also the inclusion of a killer little inline USB DAC. A great little piece of USB audio hardware that can be used with these headphones or any other headphones you might own or any other headphones you might buy in the future, and is a handy little way to improve the audio quality on tablets, laptops, hybrids, desktops. That this whole audio package is going to come in at a street price under a C note, that's a pretty easy chunk of change to throw at this level of audio versatility. So definitely be on the lookout for the Cloud 2 when they go on sale later this year in February. I gotta send a shout out to my pals at Kingston for hooking me up with a set to review so I could share this experience with you fine folks. And I'll of course leave some links down below this video where you can get more information on the Cloud 2 gaming headset, Kingston products in general, and where you can shop these puppies online. As always folks, thanks so much for watching, and be sure to hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos and reviews like these, and I would not be able to continue producing on this channel if you folks weren't out there sharing my videos with your family, friends, and on social media. So I can't thank you enough for bringing more cool people to the party. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review.